Okay. Can everyone see the screen? Cool. Can you still hear the music? Excellent. All right. So I think we will get started here today for our webinar about teaching online. We have two really awesome speakers here today who will hopefully be sharing some tools and tips to make teaching online in general easier, and then more specifically as well for environmental education. Before we begin, just a few pointers and guidelines for this webinar. We ask that you stay muted during the webinar, so to avoid interruptions. Today's presentation, as I mentioned, is about teaching online. We're going to have some time after the presentations for some discussion and question and answers. But if you do have any throughout the presentations, feel free to put them into the general chat box and we will try and answer them. If you want a diploma of participation, send a private chat message to Saga with your name and your email address, and just say that you want a certificate. And then after this webinar, we'll be sending out an email that includes a survey, because we'd like to have your feedback on how this webinar went and possible ideas for future webinars. And then lastly, we are recording this webinar, and it's also currently live on YouTube. And our next Wiry Eco Schools webinar will be next week on the 29th of September at 3 p.m. CEST, and it will be about water, sanitation, and hygiene, specifically introducing as well the new Wiry Eco Schools campaign, mini campaign competitions. So with that, I will let our speakers introduce themselves, because they can do it better than I can. So maybe, Evgeny, would you like to start, and then Laura?
Yeah, definitely. Hi, everybody. My name is Evgenii. I am a technology integration specialist. I'm also a cinematographer, gamer, traveler, and father. For the past 3 years, I've been helping teachers locally and internationally find, integrate, and implement technology in the best interest of the students. And I'm super excited for the session today. Thank you.
Hello, I am Laura. I am based in Belfast, but I am originally from the northwest of Spain. I'm working as a development education officer for an Irish charity called Trócaire. And I haven't been in the online space for as long as Evgenii. I used to deliver face-to-face CPD, IT, and workshops with students. And since lockdown, I am just getting my way around on how to adapt some of the online activities or development education activities that I deliver face-to-face to the online space. So hopefully it will give you some tips and it will help you adapt as well.
Perfect, thank you. And with that, I hope you enjoy the webinar. And Evgeny, if you're ready to start, I will stop sharing. And
Thank you. Thanks. All right. Is everyone comfortable? Everyone is okay? Right. So you can hear me well. The connection is good. We're ready to start. So what I would like to do is quickly share my screen and show the mini agenda that I have for today for everybody. So hopefully everyone can see my screen now. So let me just quickly enlarge it. So this is my mini agenda for my part of the of this workshop. I will have about 20 minutes, and then by the end, my hope is that you will be more equipped to have more dynamic and more engaging online lessons. We'll be going over some of the tools that have worked for me in the past, have worked for many teachers, in fact, in the past and in the present, before the lockdown and during the lockdown, before the virtual school and during virtual school. So the tools that we are going to have a look at are WooClap, online stopwatch, and also with combination with Padlet. We'll have a look at No Hands app in combination with Classroom Screen. Then we'll touch on quizzes, look at some of the PowerPoint games, and then round it off with Minecraft Education Edition. And after that, I'll give you a couple of things, a couple of ways how we can stay connected. So without further ado, why don't we start with WooClap? I believe that the best way to introduce the tool is actually experience the tool. So what we're going to do is experience a WooClap. And sorry, if I'm not looking at you directly, I have multiple screens, so I'm still looking at the presentation. So what I'm going to do, I'll paste a quick link onto the chat. So if you can please click on chat, and you will see there a link that looks like WooClap and then YCZDDG. So if you can click on this link in chat, and this will take you to the WooClap. Okay. And yeah. So we're still waiting for people to join us. Okay. Again, so if you can click on this link in the chat. Well, you can't click in chat. I mean, if you can paste it in your browser, that would be great. Zoom has recently disabled the function of clicking on the links if you are joining from the personal computer. So you will need to actually copy and paste it onto your web browser. This is the link, and there's no quicker way for me to invite you, so I can see people started joining us already. So we already have 5 people, and I'll share my screen so you can see what is happening on my screen as well. All right. Okay, so WooClap is basically a great way to engage students, use it as an icebreaker, use it as a review, or there are many applications for the game. So in this example, we're answering the question, where are you joining us today? And what you can see on your screen now are all the locations from where people are joining us today. I should put one here as well. I'm from Middle East, Kuwait. But we can see that we have people across the board. We have some people in North America. We have people from Europe. We have people from Far East. And we have some people from, I believe, it looked like India. So we have all people across the board. So it's nice to see this spread. Yeah, thank you. We almost had 12 people. If you have troubling joining us, because I think we have about 27 people, what you need to do is go to chat and then copy and paste the link that I pasted. Unfortunately, you cannot click it, but you can paste this link onto your web browser. So this is our first question, and you can use it with your students again if you are teaching biology or any other subject. You can use this tool. There are many other types of questions which we will try to answer now. This is a multiple choice question, and as participants started answering, you will see the answer right on your screen. This is you can choose more than one answer here. What are you hoping to take away from this workshop? So are you here to learn practical tools? Are you here to share some of your best practices? Maybe something worked for you and you would like to share it with us today. You can choose more than one answer. Like I repeat, like I said, or you're just here to kill some time. You have nothing else to do. And so hopefully we don't have people here to kill in time. So we have a pretty enthusiastic audience with us who would like to learn some practical tools. So yeah, this is again another type of question that you can use. What I like about it is that you can share your screen and then show the participants what is the average of the class. It's a nice way. If I turn off my screen, share my screen, you won't be able to see the answers. So this is WooClap. I will share the agenda with you. This agenda right here. Actually, it will be available on this link. I'll quickly paste it in the chat so you can follow along. Let me stop sharing, and I'll paste the agenda here. Again, this is oh here we go. This is a link now. Probably I should have put HTTP before. So this is the agenda, and if you click on this agenda, this should take you to the Google Doc, and WooClap will be the first link there. So if you click on WooClap, this will take you to the site as well, where you can create an account and do all the other things. If you'd like to learn more about WooClap, how to use it, I'll be doing a tutorial on that, and I'll talk about this a little bit later. So that was WooClap. Let's now move on to the next tool, which is Stopwatch and Padlet.com. What I like to do in my class, let me just quickly share my screen. Oftentimes, when we ask a question to the students, we don't give them time to think. We just ask them the question, and like I did, we ask students the question, and then we expect the answer right away. So what I would like to do with you today is to give you some time to think about 3 questions. First one is, what concerns do you have about teaching online as opposed to teaching in a physical classroom? The second thing is whether or not you have specific questions. You came to this webinar with specific questions that you would like to be answered. And finally, has something worked for you? Do you have a strategy to share that actually worked for you? So these 3 questions. First one is, what do you feel concerned about stepping into the virtual environment and teach there? The second thing is, do you have a specific question about teaching online? And finally, what worked for you in the past? So these 3 questions, and what I would like to do is to give you just 2 minutes to think. Sit down and actually think about these 3 questions. What worked in the past? What concerns do you have about teaching online? And what specific questions do you have about teaching online? So 2 minutes. What we normally don't do, give students time to think, and so I'm going to like to give you some time to think about these 3 questions, and then once the time is up, you will have an opportunity to share. So right now, let's take some time. I'm going to be quiet as well and give you some quiet space. All right, so our time is up, and that was the demonstration of both a tool and I wouldn't say a strategy, just some common sense. I would say that I sometimes forget that students and people in general need some quiet space to think. And when we teach online, we sometimes forget that even though we don't see students in front of us, we still have them in Zoom or in Google Hangouts, and it's important to give people some reflection time. So this is an online stopwatch that I normally use when I would like to set specific time in my classes to move from one activity to another, to manage transitions, and many, many other purposes. There are tons of occasions that I have used this online stopwatch. It's free, you don't have to register, all this stuff that you normally, sites will have you go through. So now when we reflected on those 3 questions, let's now take some time to share our reflections. This is another tool that I would like to demonstrate to you, which is called Padlet.com. Again, the link will be in the agenda. Padlet.com. It works really simply. All you need to do is click on this comment and then type your comment. If you have something to share about either of these questions, type your comment right here, and don't forget to click this arrow, which will send your comment. So what I would like to do now is quickly share the link. Hopefully, it will be a clickable link this time. Let me open chat and paste it right here. Okay, yep. All right, it's a hyperlink. I've learned something now. If you type the HTTP before the link, it becomes a hyperlink. Anyways, so there's a link in the chat right now, which you should be able to click, and this link should take you to our Padlet. So what I would like to do now is for you to share your reflections. What thoughts occurred to you when you were thinking about these 3 questions? What worked for you during online or distance learning? What concerns do you have about teaching online or distantly, remotely? And whether or not you have specific questions. So what you need to do is to click on Add Comment. Oh, here we go. We have the first comment. So Zoom worked for someone. If you would like to be more specific, give more details, that would be awesome. Right, so and now I'm sharing my screen, so hopefully, and without sharing your screen, you will be able to see the answers right away. So we have concerns, participants' technical skills, a major concern, right? So some of our parents or students don't have the technical skills. We have specific question as well. There are tools you are sharing free. Yes, all the tools that I'm sharing today are free. You don't have to pay, you don't have to, I mean, for Padlet, you need to register, but when it comes to students, they don't need to register for the Padlet. As you see right now, you didn't have to register for your Padlet, but I see that Susan, for example, Susan Cox has an account with Padlet. That's why her name came out, but for those of you who don't have an account with Kahoot, Padlet, then you will be anonymous. But again, so these are the specifics of the app. If you are interested to learn more, we can continue the conversation. So this is a great app just to demonstrate to you how you can use it. There are, again, millions of potential users of Padlet, and I'm pretty sure if some of you are familiar with Padlet, you've used it with great success. So I see that Kahoot work with some of you, Miro, the whiteboard, WhatsApp, Zoom. We have concerns. We have a lot of concerns, more than things that work well. We have network issues, keeping a personal connection with students, transfer hands-on learning to an online experience. And actually, I will touch on how to keep a personal connection with students in this 10 minutes that I have left. Anyway, so sorry if it feels like I'm rushing through things. I'm just to be mindful of your time in the first place and try to finish on time. So this is Padlet, and with combination with the stopwatch. So it gave you some time to reflect, gave you questions, and then we moved on to the collaborative space in Padlet. Let's move on to the third thing, which is No Hands app. And again, I'm a true believer that it's best learned through practice. So we're going to learn this tool while practicing. So let me just quickly run something here. Okay. All right. Okay, so the question that I would like to ask you is the question: how do we keep students engaged during the online lesson, right? So students are on their own. Sorry if you can see your name. Anyways, so students are on their own. They're at their computers. We don't see them. Sometimes they fall asleep because we just lecturing them. So how do we move from lecturing students all the time to actually engaging them in the lesson, keeping them on the edge of their seats the whole time? So I'm going to suggest an activity that will probably demonstrate that. So the task is simple. Hopefully everybody will see the text. Everybody will see the text. Your task is to read this short paragraph. This is one of my favorite fables by Aesop, the goose and the golden egg. So you can read it by yourself. Hopefully everyone can see it. But for those of you who cannot see it, I will read it aloud. So there was once a countryman who possessed the most wonderful goose you can imagine, and for every day when he visited the nest, the goose had laid a beautiful, glittering golden egg. The countryman took the egg to the market and soon began to get rich, but it was not long before he grew impatient with the goose because he gave him only a single golden egg a day. He was not getting rich fast enough. Then one day, after he had finished counting the money, the idea came to him that he could get all the golden eggs at once by killing the goose and cutting it open. But when the deed was done, not a single golden egg did he find, and his precious goose was dead. What a sad story, but with a nice moral. So let's imagine that I'm having a class with you and we had this text read, and now we have a question: who are the characters in the text? And so what normally happens in Zoom, what I've witnessed in classes, is that either you ask for volunteers to raise their hand, or you ask for people to I don't know, somehow answer the question. So what I'm going to suggest is a simple yet really powerful tool called No Hand. So you can see this tray window. This is not a Google Slides plugin. This is a standalone app which will basically generate a random name. It's so simple but so powerful. So I've quickly put in some names of the participants, and so I'm going to click on this tray window and some of the names will pop up. And if your name pops up and you feel like you would like to answer, we would like to invite you and try to answer this question. So Mohammed, I think you are with us. We are going to, let me just quickly find you. So I'm quickly ask you to, can we unmute participants, by the way? Can we do that?
You should be able to.
Okay, all right. So if your name comes up and you feel like speaking up, you don't mind others hearing your voice, could you answer this question? Again, if you are free to pass, Mohammed, if you are with us and you are here, would you be able to answer this question? Who are the characters in this text? All right, so let's move on to another student. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, Deanne or Diane. Would you like to answer this question? Who are the main characters in the text? I'm hopeful that participants can unmute themselves because I don't see this option.
Maybe an alternative is that they can also answer in the chat box.
Yeah, that should work as well. Oh yeah, Mohammed. Yeah, we can text. Yeah, that didn't occur to me. Yes, Mohammed. Yes, you can. Let's get back to you. Who are the main characters in the text? And so while Mohammed is typing, you can see how you need to be, or students need to be, always present. The goose, right, Mohammed? Thank you for your answer. There was one more, but let's quickly move on to the next question. What is the genre of this text? And let's move on to, again, I'm sorry if I mispronounce that, but Gosia maybe. So again, you can type up your answers in the chat. What is the genre of the text? So while we have the answer coming, one of the benefits, actually two of the benefits in this of this app is that students will be actually, once you establish that once the name comes up, they need to answer, well, they have to be present, they have to participate. And so this is the first benefit. They have to be present, they have to participate. The second thing is just an engaging way to pick on students rather than asking students to raise their hand. Let's try one more students. Again, I'm not going to pronounce the names because most likely I will mispronounce it. So again, we have another participant. Would you like to type your answer in the chat? You can pass if you want, but if you know the answer, would you please type it up? Again, so this tool worked with me really fine across all the ages from elementary to middle school to high school. I've used this tool long before we had remote learning. Beautiful tool, really simple. Put it on the starboard or put it on your screen if you're teaching remotely, and and use it. Nice tool. I like that. Well, this tool only works with Windows computers. So if you're a Mac user, so we're going to wrap it up, this activity. I hope you got the idea, even though we only had one answer. Thank you, Mohammed, for being an active participant and answering the question and helped me demonstrate this tool. So unfortunately, this tool only works for the Mac computer, for Windows computers. If you would like to use it on your Mac computer, there's another beautiful tool which is called classroomscreen.com. educator.com. Again, the hyperlink will be right here. And what it does, there are many tools here that you can use, but what I personally like is a random name generator. It is right here. So if I just type student 1, student 2, student 3, and then this will just select a random name of the student. So again, the same principle is not as simple in terms of the design as the No Hands app, but this will accomplish, this will serve the purpose. So No Hands app, classroom screen, both are free, no need for registration. However, for the classroom screen, you need to register if you would like to save up your roster. Maybe you even have to pay, but if you would like just to use it once in a while, that's the tool to use. All right, so moving on to, and I believe I only have about 2 minutes. So moving on to quizzes. Hopefully we'll finish that as well. So this is just an amazing tool to use to engage your students. I've created a quiz and I would like you to again join me right here. So first thing you need to do is to go to this link. Let me just quickly paste it in the chat for you. Here you go. So hopefully when you click on this link, this should take you to my quiz. Yep, that's right. This does it. Okay. So once you're there, if you can put your name. So we have Christina, we have, well, I'm going to call you students because we are modeling a use of quizzes for the students. So once students join quizzes, they will type their names. You can, if they have an account, they will have a pre-designed name, but we're just demonstrating how to use it without any registration on students' part. And it's a free tool as well, like I said before. So we're going to wait for another 1 minute. So that we have, I see that we have counted 31 participants, so I would expect to have about, let's wait for 15 and then we're going to start. So we now have 11, 12. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to quickly describe, for those of you who are not familiar with quizzes, this is just an amazing, engaging way to either formatively or summatively assess the progress of the students. You can create a quiz, you can search the library and create engaging quizzes. And when I say engaging, you will see that we will have a leaderboard, we will have different boosts. There's an element of a gamification that students really like when it comes to quizzes. And hopefully by playing this quiz with me, you will be able to relate to that. Okay, we have 13 people, 14, 1 more to go, and we will start. Okay, so 1 more, and we will start. Anyone? So again, if you click on this link in the Zoom chat, this should take you to the quizzes. All right, we're going to wait. You can join at any point. So we're going to start the quiz. I will stop sharing my screen because you don't need to look at my screen. What you need to look at is actually the quiz itself. So you will have questions that you will need to answer. And as you can see, as you start answering the question, you will notice that you will have a leaderboard. And I wish I can share my screen with you. Yeah, let me just give you some time so you can experience the quizzes. So it's a really nice way to engage students. There's a huge gamification component where students are in a, I would say, healthy competition amongst each other. They're trying to answer as quickly as they can and as accurately as they can. And also, feel free to jump back to the Zoom sharing screen. I guess by now you know where it's going, but I would like you to basically disregard your progress of the game and jump back to the Zoom so you can see what a teacher can see from their end. And I hope you will appreciate the amount of data you are getting on the spot. So as a teacher, I can see all the students' roster in front of me. I can see how many questions each of you are answering correctly, incorrectly, what's the accuracy level. It's just an amazing how much data we have at our fingertips. And then on top of that, you can always go and check the report. So this is Quizzes, a beautiful app, I think, to engage, to make your lessons more interactive, to make your lessons more engaging, more dynamic. So I'm sorry I have to stop the game, even though some of you are in the lead. Some of you had, like Susan, sorry if I mispronounced your name, had 7 answers answered correctly in a row. But I just want to respect everybody's time and finish my session on time, not to take time from another speaker. So I will quickly end this quiz. I'm sorry I had to do that because we don't have enough time. So we have winners. 3 claps to you, Susan, for the first place, Mohammed for the second place, and then I didn't get to see who's in the 3rd place. All right, guys, that was quizzes. We have PowerPoint games. I'm afraid I don't have time, so I'm going to quickly move on to the final thing that I would like to talk about is a Minecraft education. So Minecraft education, in my opinion, is the perfect app for either distance learning or learning in the class. If you're not familiar with Minecraft, which I believe not many of us are, let me quickly play you a quick. Sorry, I'm a bit lost on my screen. Oh, here we go. So let me play a quick video clip as an intro to Minecraft education. I hope you will be able to hear the sound.
Finally, till number 10, and thank you if you haven't quit, thank you for bearing with me till the end. Minecraft education. If you're not familiar with Minecraft at all, Minecraft started out as a game, but it made its way into education, and right now we are fortunate enough to have an official Minecraft education edition, which has features specifically geared to classroom use. It's much easier to use Minecraft Education Edition rather than simple Minecraft. But anyways, what Minecraft is essentially is a game that is so versatile, is so creative. They call them sandbox games. Basically, it means that it's a sandbox, and within this game you can do whatever you want with the resources available. In Minecraft case, blocks. So the entire world is made up of blocks, and students can create, they can solve problems, they can do, whatever you design them to do inside the Minecraft. We've used Minecraft for science, math, language arts, a lot of things, and this is just a couple of examples that demonstrate what students can do. If you've never seen, played, experienced Minecraft, that will not make much sense to you, but to kind of give you an idea of what the students are doing, they're solving problems together, either creating a storyline or solving a math problem or doing an art project within a Minecraft world. And you as a teacher have overall control over the world. You host this world and students connect from their devices to this world. So it's a multiplayer experience, and that's what makes Minecraft so powerful, because they are interacting with each other within one world, either on problem or creative story writing. There's literally no limit to what you can do with Minecraft. That's why if you go to the Minecraft Education website, you will see so many resources on.
All right. So hopefully everyone had a chance to appreciate the scope and the depth and breadth of Minecraft. Like I said, for some reason I didn't have the audio, but I think what I said is you can have anything. So any subject, any project that you have in mind can be replicated in Minecraft. And to get back to some of the one comment, one of the people mentioned that how do we maintain relationship with the students during the distance learning? It's really hard. It's really hard when you don't see the students. And we've been able to use Minecraft education. Just want to quickly show you the world that we were working on since, I believe, since May, when we went on lockdown. One of the parents suggested, why don't we build a school in Minecraft? Why don't we build our school in Minecraft? And this is the project. It's still running. As you can see, some of the stuff, it's still not finished. This is the theater that we are working on here. We've been meeting with students 3 or 2 times a week using communication software, and we were just building the school together, communicating informally. And that built not only school, but also the the relationship across distances. We've had favorable comments from parents, teachers, and also educational community. I just want to quickly share with you one trailer video that we made not long time ago when the virtual school was opened, and we decided to make a small trailer to welcome everybody to the school. The beginning of the video is in Arabic because we are Arabic and English school, a bilingual school, but then there is an English translation after that. So this is basically a summary of how you can build connection across distances using Minecraft education. And I will end after that. Also, let me know.
أنشأنا برنامج صيفي Virtual Campus لتطوير مهارات شخصية طالب المستقبل مثل مهارة المسؤولية والعمل الجماعي، ولكن اكتشفنا أنه كان يخدم هذا المشروع هدف أكبر بكثير، حيث لم نكن نبني مدرستنا فقط، بل كنا نبني أيضاً مجتمعاً عبر مسافات بعيدة جداً. فخورين جداً بطلابنا وحياكم الله في مدرستنا الخيالية.
A virtual campus paved the way for skills such as integrity, responsibility, and teamwork. However, as we near its completion, we see that this project is more than just building soft skills. We were not only building our school, but we were also building a community across social distances.
Okay, I don't know.
Cannot be more proud and pleased with the amount of passion and perseverance demonstrated by BBS students as we welcome you all to our virtual school.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here and stop sharing my screen. Okay, so like I said before, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, the video as well. Okay, everything's good. Okay. I think I took more than enough time, more than time that I'm allowed to. So just quickly, my finishing note will be, if you would like to connect, see more of my work, see more of the educational technology, if you need further help, you can follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. I'm right there. I normally reply to every single comment, every single question. So I'm going to quickly, the links are in the agenda, and I'm sorry I took more than 20 minutes of the time, but hopefully it was helpful and you are more equipped to meet your students online and engage them. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. That was super interesting. Laura, will you take it away?
Yes, I was just unmuting myself there. Okay, thank you so much for that presentation and all of the tools. I'll probably be using some of them as well. So now I'm going to talk more specifically about development education activities or environmental education activities that you can use with your students. So hopefully you can combine some of my ideas with Evgenii ideas. Sorry if I mispronounce the name as well. Okay, so as I said before, my name is Laura, and I'm the Development Education Officer at Trócaire. To introduce Trócaire a little bit, the work that we do is, on the one hand, we work overseas in more than 20 countries around Asia, Africa, and Latin America. And we work through a justice and human rights lens. Most of the most important parts of the projects are equal rights for men and women, food and water, and support on emergencies. And then the other part of the work is the work that we do at home in Ireland. And we do development education. We have development education resources that are for free, so everyone can check them in our website. We deliver CPD and IT training for teachers. And we also have a youth program and different workshops that I'm going to tell you more in a bit, okay? So we're gonna start with a game. So I would like to invite you all, let me see if I can see you all. I would like to invite you all to use the chat for this. And the Buffalo game, it's a game which consists of a name and an adjective. And you need to come up with ideas of something that describes this person. It can be real or fictional, okay? So let's see. I don't know if I have access to the chat now, but let's start with. So if everyone has access to the chat, the first fingers first. So this is, you can run it as a competition with the students to see who is able to come up with this name first. So first is, can someone name a silly president? And now, unfortunately, I don't have access to the chat. So maybe here, yes, there. Clinton, Trump. Okay, so I think the first one was Christina with Trump. The next one is, can you name a climate change activist? Climate change activist. Greta, very good. Okay. Can you name a female scientist? Female scientist. Maria Curie, okay, very good. And what about a multiracial superhero? This is taking a bit more time. Iron Man. Mandala, okay. I'm not sure if Iron Man is multiracial. I was always thinking of this Black Panther, but there's different ones. Okay, so this is a game that it's mostly used to work on stereotypes. Oh, sorry, I may have, are you still seeing my screen?
Yes.
Are you seeing this? Yeah, okay. So this activity is mostly used for stereotypes or unconscious bias. So for example, we can relate that we will think a lot more male scientists than female scientists. Or we can name a lot more superheroes that are white, that maybe superheroes that are multiracial. However, you can also adapt it to environmental issues, like, for example, climate change activists or female scientists, or, you can think of different statements depending on the topic that you want to work on. And now we're going to go to the next activity that I'm going to talk to. I'm going to stop sharing because for this activity, I actually would like you all to have the camera if your connection is stable. Could you have your camera on? Or if you're not very shy? Okay. So I see some faces, not a lot of faces, okay. Have more people coming now with the cameras on now. So for this activity, I'm sure a lot of you know the walking debate. So walking debate is to generate discussion with the students about a topic that sometimes is a controversial topic, sometimes is just to see their ideas. And a walking debate, it works very good in face-to-face, obviously, but how are we going to move a hand debate to the online space? So for this activity, I have a few people with a camera, not everybody is up to that, but it's fine. The way that this works is we have the hands like that. So if everyone can do this. So this is the middle ground. Up is agree, and then down below is disagree. So we're going to start, I'm going to start reading some activities or some sentences, and you tell me if you agree or not. So the first one is, human activity has nothing to do with climate change. Our climate has always been changing. So we have middle ground, we have agree, or we have disagree. So human activity has nothing to do with climate change. Our climate has always been changing. Some people disagree, and some people is middle ground. Line, you're middle ground there. Can you tell us why? Can you unmute yourself and tell us why?
No, I meant to disagree.
Oh, you're meant to disagree. Okay,
Yeah.
so why do you disagree?
Because I think that human action has a great impact on climate change.
Very good. Any other points of view? Okay, so we're going to go to the next. We're going to do this activity a little bit quick, but you know that if you do this in class, you will have loads of time or all the time that you want to do it. So the next one is, if global warming continues, Ireland and other countries in Europe will have more intense storms and rainfall events. So disagree, middle, agree. Okay, so most of the people is agreeing. The next one is climate change affects everyone the same. Okay, Risa, can you unmute yourself? Because I see that at the beginning you agreed so much and then you disagree so much as well.
I didn't listen to the whole question, but I think there are certain communities and places in the world where climate change will have a greater impact.
Very good. So we usually at Trócaire refer to climate change as climate justice, because even though some of the places where we emit more emissions and we contribute the most to climate change, even though we will be affected, and we're seeing now loads of the effects here in the maybe northern hemisphere, if you want to call it, the places where they contribute the least are the ones who are or have been suffering the most and will continue probably to be suffering the most. And the last one is the climate change crisis will be solved in my lifetime. Agree, up, disagree, bottom. Okay, we have a lot of pessimists, maybe realistic instead of pessimist, but we have some people who are middle there. And Risa, do you want to unmute yourself again and tell us, you were the most positive of the call?
I think I just have to be optimistic, and I hope that in my lifetime we will find some solutions. I'm still fairly young, so we have some time.
Yes.
Kind of 10, 20 years.
Thank you. And yeah, and it's very good to finish always with a positive message. So my recommendation when you work environmental activities with kids is always, always, always finish with a positive message and try to empower them to do things and make them believe that they do have the power to change things. Because that will empower them to want to make changes in their lifestyle and will give them tools to make changes in the lifestyle. But if we finish with a negative message, they will just be empowered and just feel sad instead of... Oh, sorry. Okay, so another activity that we can use is Jamboard. And Jamboard is a platform from Google. I know that I don't have a lot of space, so I'm gonna do this very, very quickly. I'm gonna move. Can you see now the change of screen? No? Do you still see in the PowerPoint? Okay, so I'm gonna stop.
I don't see any screen.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and start again. Oh, it stopped sharing actually already. Here, share. Can you see it now? So Jamboard is a tool. I recommend to use this together with the breakout rooms. And Jamboard is a place where you can move all of these squares. So for example, I'm sure you all know the 3 R's, and I would like to introduce you to the 9 R's. So the 9 R's is remember, reuse, recycle, repair, remake, rethink, respect, reduce, and refuse. And if we have here a diamond ranking, so the most important at the top, the 2 second most important, the middle ground, and then the 2 least important and the most least important. So for example, you can just select these and move them around, okay? Gotta see, respect is the most important, rethink. This is obviously a personal opinion, so it's not, sometimes these activities is more to make the students think about themselves. And if you want to adapt this to younger audiences, you can get pictures instead of words. Like for example, we can go here. You can select a picture from your computer, or you can do a Google search. So for example, recycle, and you search and you will add the picture and then it will work the same. So see here how recycle come up. So you could do it with images instead of words for younger audiences. Okay. Another activity that we can do in Jamboard is we move here and we have, for example, interdependence. How many countries have you relied on today? And here we have an option of the pen. So you can click what country you have relied on today, like for example, here or here. Or you can have images and you can move around, for example, where the oranges that you eat came from, maybe Spain or North Africa, where the chocolate, maybe Central America, and you can just move the images around or ask the kids to shout what they want to do or what images they want to move, or even share the link with them so that they can do this in groups. Okay. And another option will be, for example, a big map and say what countries have you relied on today. You can ask them to check their t-shirts and see where they were made or where they come from, and then mark it on the map. So this is another tool that you can use in groups or individually, and you can just make as many copies as you want of this of Jamboard. Now I'm gonna share again and go to my original PowerPoint. The next thing that I want to talk to you about very quickly, because I know that I'm running out of time, is the Game Changers competition. The Game Changers competition is an activity that the children can do as well, and it's a project that involved more cross-curricular activities. So I'm going to play a video to see, because it explains this very well, and then chat a little bit more about it.
Game Changers is a competition for young people in Ireland to create a game and try to change the world. So we've called on young people to raise awareness around human rights and global justice issues. And we think this is a really fun and exciting way for children to communicate these issues to their peers and to their families and to people in their community. It's great for teachers to get involved in Game Changers because it's really allowing children to lead their own learning. Children can work in groups, they can have that critical analysis of the issue that's being explored in the game. It allows students to explore the issue more themselves, not being too led by the teacher. So if you would like to enter with your students, they can enter into the primary, into the post-primary or into the youth categories. And if you go onto trócaire.org/game changers, there's lots of information, entry forms and resources to support you create your games as well.
Okay, so this is a wee explanation of what Game Changers is. Game Changers is around creating a game. The topic of the game has to be the Sustainable Development Goals. And you can pick a topic more related to the environment if you want, like life on land or water or climate change. And then the idea is that they create a game and they create awareness about this issue that they are exploring with their peers. So to be a game changer, create a game, change the world. The games can be board game, card game, or video game. Now to work in groups, they can use also Zoom platforms. It doesn't have to be working physically in the same space in groups. The categories are primary, post-primary, and youth. And we also have online workshops or cluster events to help you with this session. So for example, we have a step 1 is a CPD and a small ask. Step 2 is a student workshop and a small ask. And step 3 is a sharing session that is optional and a small ask. So for example, the CPD, we can do a CPD with teachers around what is sustainable development, the sustainable development goals, and some games-based learning. And the small ask, it will be to work the SDGs or the sustainable development goals with your students. Create a small lesson that we can also give you resources, videos, and different materials. And then in the student workshop, we will start talking about what kind of games do they like to play, why do they like, the different mechanisms and components of the game, and to start thinking about how to create your own game. And then to enter on the competition, you just need to go to trócaire.org/educate/game changers. I have here some pictures of the games that won last year. So it's kind of, this is kind of a Monopoly game for climate change. And this is a game around education and access to education. And Trócaire also have some development education games if you want to go to the website and visit them to give you some ideas on how to create your own game. I believe this is a great way for students to get involved in an issue that they like in a more creative and artistic way. And if you want to get in touch, my email is laura.fernandez@trócaire.org or visit our website. And I'm stopping sharing now. So that's all I have. I'm sorry, I know that we're running a little bit out of time, but I hope it was useful and they can use all of these different methodologies to create their own activities and their own topics.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. We have about 5 minutes left. So if there are any questions from the participants that you would like to ask our two speakers, you can unmute yourself. You can put it into the chat. Now is your chance. I've got a potential question. In both of your experiences, I guess, now during COVID and Corona, what have been some of the benefits of moving education online? What have been some positive things that you've noticed?
If you want me to go first, I think some of the positives is that, for example, to attend to CPD or trainings, sometimes teachers feel more comfortable because they are at home. And we can also reach audiences that otherwise they couldn't travel very far to be able to participate in these activities. And then we can share the recordings so that other participants that couldn't attend that day, they can still benefit from the session. Although I have to say that for me, face-to-face is irreplaceable, and I really, really enjoy to be there with the teachers doing the activity with them or with the children in the schools. But there are some benefits of online as well, of course.
Now, from my end, I can definitely say that with the school going online, teachers have no way of escaping learning how to use technology. So I've seen an up spike of teachers learning different tools, being creative in digital environment, whereas in the past they were like, I can get by with just, standard, very conventional means. But now when everyone was actually thrown into this digital space, teachers, like I said before, have no way of escaping this. And it's a good benefit. I'm curious to see what is going to happen when we are back to the physical environment. Will this rub off on their practice at school, or will it just be, okay, now I'm back to the default mode? So I'm curious to see, but to sum it up, definitely an up spike in the technology use and meaningful technology use in the first place. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any last comments or questions from the participants? All right. Any last speakers? Any last words? Great. So to respect everyone's time, I think we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Thank you very, very much to both of our speakers for being able to share all of your knowledge and expertise with us. It was super engaging, really educational. I learned a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you.